Excuse me, Mikula, should we change this old pad from last time or?
Yes, we should do so.
Just okay.
We should. I'm just trying to update it on the web page, and we need to create a new one.
Okay.
No, don't do that. Don't do it. We have a pad for that already prepared.
So where is it? What is the URL?
I send you. I send it into the chat.
Ah, okay, this one. Good. So I will change it in the web page as well. Well, thanks anyway, Bastian, for helping me with that, because I have to admit I'm really, really poor when it comes to the European Parliament plenary session, and I'm supposed to do this piece of bureaucracy the week before. Then it is really like very helpful that you could intervene in that. So thank you very much for doing that. Okay, so our web page is already referring to the proper pad, and yeah.
So stream is working fine. So I'm really surprised.
Okay, seems so. Like we are waiting already like 12 minutes, so I would give them 2 minutes more. I mean,
Yeah,
is
no
there
problem.
someone able to contact Katla? And I'm wondering what's happening to Alessandro.
Message from Alessandro was that he also is running a little bit late due to personal things in the work, and he will shuffle in. Well, within the next quarter an hour, he told us.
Okay. Okay, so let's wait the mandatory 15 minutes, and then we could start. I actually like that all the European meetings are, and this is not just Pyro special, they are just starting late. Nowadays it's a bit better with the COVID because everyone is working online. However, previously it was very much that way. Okay. I guess we are 15 minutes late, so the mandatory quarter hour is finished and we should start. So I hope they will join us. Meanwhile, if you don't mind, I would be chairing this meeting, so I'm officially opening it 1915. And I'm wondering whether someone would be willing to volunteer as a secretary for this meeting. Hello, Onza. So anyone who would be helping us as a secretary would be great if there would be this option. Well, and would you be trying, Olivia? Would be great. I mean, if you could do that. It's a not big deal. We just need to record the respective decisions when they are being taken, or let's say the main mood of the discussion. It's not about just like taking every single word that is being written. It's just like important for the people to roughly have the idea what was the discussion about, because there are anyway there will be recording from the from the meeting, so it's not a big deal. Yes, everyone, anyone can add in like whatever it can be collaborative work. It's just needed that you are quite in favor. Every board member. Okay, then let's do it in the short way. So that's kind of like decided. Recording started. We should have approved the minutes from the last time. That's something we should do. Do we have the minutes from the last time? Most probably not.
Yes, yes, they are just posted over there, like Olivia posted them. It's the last time's minutes.
Yeah,
In
but
the, in the chat.
just a moment. Just a moment. We have. You are typing in the agenda title, and the minutes are down. We have point
Yeah.
0.1 approval of the agenda, and I will put the link into the pad in a minute.
I see. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, we should discuss the agenda. Maybe I would ask you for, let's say, 2 points that are actually to be. We don't need a resolution today, but we just, or it would be great to at least know your opinions or initial opinions how to move forward. The points would be the web page and how to improve it. I don't know how to phrase it, but yeah, maybe simply the web page. And the second point would be negotiations with Greens IFA. I would add it maybe after the working groups, if you don't mind.
Sorry, I understand what you mean.
Yeah. I have to apologize also because I'm a bit multitasking, as now today I have not my 2 monitors, so I'm very much like relying on switching between the table and the Jitsi.
Nicholas, don't worry, we got 90 minutes from now on.
Okay, thanks. There is a suggestion from Honza to suggest one short point under any other business, or like, do you want to raise it directly as a part of agenda?
It's more of a request considering policy coordination. So like the one-man group that I'm in charge of. So I'll have a request on basically all members of the board to fill out a certain form. But yeah, I'll talk about it later. Just in
Okay, then maybe you can or we can solve it as a part of the working groups, which we will solve anyway.
Mhm.
Okay, so if it is so, and there are no other ideas what we shall discuss, then I would go for the approval of the agenda. There are already some people voting on, so I'm among them, and that means altogether there are 6 votes in favor. So I would consider the agenda to be approved, as no one is really like adding anything. So we can go to the for the approval of the minutes from the last meeting. You will find the link to the minutes at line 63, and if you feel represented by those minutes or satisfied with the minutes as it is, it should be sufficient. You can approve it or disapprove it as you wish. The vote on the approval runs on the line 66, 67, 68.
May I have a proposal to the agenda also?
I think it's no problem to reopen it.
Well, it's just to make my point, as it's now the second time that several people of the board arriving late. It seems a little bit that it might be good to reopen the discussion on when having our board meeting.
I think that's very much important. I mean, Flory and I think Katla also had some issues with that. So yeah, that's very much reasonable. I would edit maybe, I don't know, last point, or should work, or what?
That's okay with me, of course.
Yeah. So it's very much written there. So we will just have a discussion. So no need to change to vote on that. I see agenda approved, so we can go directly to the first point, which are short reports of the activity. I will start from myself. I'm working still on the registration, and yeah, it's a bit problematic process because I'm trying also to deal with the Fiobanka. What they actually want is they want to have information about also the birth numbers, but they need it somehow confirmed, which means yeah, the Luxembourgish business chamber, they do not want to provide it in this consolidated way that I would need. So I'm kind of like trying to find how to put this together so that it actually works and it does not bring too much administrative burden to all of you. But yeah, that's the state of play, and yeah, I'm trying to figure out. Besides that, I think, yeah, I should report that I had some meeting with Gregory Engels. That's probably what was not reported last time regarding what the initiative for file sharing would require from us, and that touches more or less like the web, maybe some sending of emails, posts on media, and yeah, we could discuss with the council about the finances. Yeah, I also contacted the guy who, or tried to contact the guy who signed himself as an only citizen. The communication or like I sent them a reply. So far, there was no a reply from them or him. Still, maybe it's not the fault on the other side because I was a little bit late on sending it out. Anything more I should report? No, I don't think so. Yeah. So who's next? We have no Flory here. So who wants to report actually?
Yes, if you don't mind, I can take the opportunity to say something. It's a lot of technical support necessary, so it's just the headline technical support, work on the PPU wiki, you know about that, and working on the website also. We have some complaints with the design. Maybe we can change it, and I looked for a new theme. It's based on the campaign or political WordPress theme. So we get I think we get a new outlook, but we have to decide it prior to publishing. So that's it, I think. And yeah, of course, the treasurer's duties.
Perfect. Thank you. Is there a report from the media working group actually, or?
Yes, we had the meeting yesterday. Nicolas, you hear me? It's okay.
Yeah.
I have only microphone in my auto. We had yesterday's meeting. I thought like more new people would show up, but but not. Never mind. We talked mainly about Olivia's suggestions, which she posted on GitLab, and Petr Kocourek, Petr and Mia both volunteered for translation. So I suggested to start a translation team on the GitLab, and we can translate from French to German or vice versa. Because I think Petr said he speaks German, and Mia speaks French, as I remember. I'm gonna post the minutes in the chat. And also I need to I have to start a calendar on GitLab. That's what I'm going to do in next days. Olivia suggested in the past we should have open source calendar.
Is there actually a way how to integrate it with calendar?
Sorry?
I was just surprised about the fact that there should be a way how to integrate GitLab.
Yes.
Wow.
I think it's not possible. I don't know if it's possible to integrate, but I suggest to have it like a project, in GitLab, so we can track all changes. But I don't know. Maybe we should check more what are opportunities or possibilities for this kind of calendar.
Please do, and remember that it should be available to the trusted people from our parties, but probably not really published to the outside.
You mean these Czech voluntaries? They are not members of the party.
No. I have no problem with the volunteers. Like we anyway have a little bit like issue to distinguish who is actually a member of the party and who not. So so far we are running based on, let's say, trust and mutual
trust.
Know of each other. However, I would just like recommend that our calendar planning the media stuff shall not be really like public to, let's say, our political competitors.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Anything more to report for now?
I think no. Yeah, there's a problem. Some problem with YouTube. McFrank posted on this working group media and communication on Mattermost. Do you know what can be problem? It says this video contains content from WMG who has blocked it on copyright grounds. I don't know what's the problem.
Oh shit. Yeah, I see it. I mean, our video was deleted from the YouTube.
I don't know. I think it's just unavailable.
Nikulash, I think that something with it, I mean, probably, I don't know how it can happen, but it's because, you know, of these automatic filters that just maybe recognize something on the background. Maybe I'm not sure that it was the case, but they recognize probably some music or something like this. I don't know, but it was actually, yes, made unavailable for YouTube users.
Yep. Okay. Now we come to the point that we really need to have streaming recorded on our own platform, which I hope we have. But that's thanks to Bastian. But yeah, good evening. Good evening, actually, Alessandro. Great to have you here.
Thank you. Good evening to you also. I'm sorry for my late.
No problem at all. Okay, is there anyone who could be volunteering to kind of like investigate what happened to the YouTube? Because if they kind of like delete our content, then maybe we should complain in a more formal way.
I can file a case for that, and I should have a look on the YouTube channel later on, and then I will file a case to YouTube.
Okay, that would be great. I mean, just for the record, I finally managed to provide Bastian access to YouTube, so he has the access as well. But that's the reason why we actually have a stream. And so yeah, thank you very much for doing that. And if there is a need to complain to them, we can always do that. I mean, at the end of the day, all the lobbyists of those companies, they are coming here to Brussels. So I think we can always complain to them when they are blocking our friends in the Netherlands or whatsoever they are doing. They sometimes bother us with their requests, so we can bother them with our requests. Well, so much to YouTube. So let's put the YouTube on the agenda of the next meeting, maybe.
Yeah.
So
but
that we know that
normally it's a case of in upload fit or whatever. It's a bot who is stopping the video, or and I think it's we have to know what's happened, and then we'll report it in the next board meeting.
I think Bastian, maybe we can access. I mean, also you. I think that first we can access to because I don't think they delete the video for ourselves also.
No. I think you can see the video in the storage, but you cannot access the YouTube video from outside. So that's a difference.
Yeah, exactly. So first we should have a look on it, and then probably. But it would be great that if they made a mistake, it would be great, because it's the real proof that it happened to the pirate party. To the European pirates.
I think it's a problem of the bots, and so we have the same problem with Pirates on Air and everywhere, and so we cannot post something to YouTube because we have a license for that, but YouTube won't accept it. But it's a real business, so let's have a look what's happened, and then we report it.
Okay, great. Yeah, so much about the YouTube, and we are in at the end of the reporting session, aren't we? Or anyone spotted anything important of importance to report? Because then we probably go to the next point, which are the working groups. And
Nope.
sorry?
No, we have we have the tasks from the previous meetings first.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Just
So we have some points we have to discuss. Maybe we can postpone one, because Katla is not here in the moment. And we had this email received from Only Citizen.
I see.
In the registration progress and common board meeting with VBI. And I think we have find out that it's 1 o'clock p.m.
Yeah. I mean, regarding the moderation of the Mattermost, we are very much rely on the issue on Katla. I just would like to reiterate that I've received another request from the Dutch pirates to somehow solve their issue, that they want to have, let's say, an access to the admin interface. So we need to address this issue in somehow reasonable time. Then the email received from the owner citizen, I replied there and asked for their let's say detailed report. So far no response, but it could still come. So I would probably wait for their reply. When it comes to the registration process, I'm not really sure what we wanted to resolve over there. Could you do you know, Bastian? What
Yeah, it's a forthgoing process. So you reported a little bit in your report about in the beginning of the meeting, and I think we cannot make any help, or we have no. We can do nothing except you, so we have to wait for.
Yes, exactly. I'm sorry, because I missed the fact that Mia is raising hand for quite some time, probably.
Actually, I was not. I'm sorry.
That was not an intention. Okay, so you can lower it for sure.
Yeah.
Good. Regarding the registration, I will work on them. That it's a persistent issue, and I think I'm a little bit disappointed. I've decided to contact some Slovak banks which could possibly also provide transparent accounts, but without. Sorry. Yeah, without to be investigated. Yep. Common board meeting with the PPI. There is a proposal coming from the PPI. It's a result of the doodle, which set the date for 20th of March at 1 o'clock p.m. Of Central European time. So that's, in my understanding, the biggest let's say agreement that comes from the doodle. I think we should take it as it is, and maybe a little bit discuss what should be our priorities for that meeting.
Yeah, maybe we have one common point, that's all the things like Unicorn Gate and so on. Our code of conduct, maybe we can help over this to the PPI. So if we have a common code of conduct or something like that, that would be a point I would have on the agenda. And we have some issues with technique, of course. Maybe we can help each other better. That's my point of view.
I do agree that we should kind of like address it. I mean, we are probably, or we are definitely not here to decide on, let's say, particular cases. This is probably the task for this is for sure task for COCC, respectively the Court of Arbitration within the PPI. They should do the stuff. However, what I think we should clarify is what are their powers in respective cases
Yeah, that's what I mean.
when it comes to the point, like which institution shall actually decide on, or where is the line that is supposed to be drawn.
No, Mikolash, it's not a case, it's a discussion about our code of conduct or whatever, rules of procedure, whatever. That's not the case itself, because we have a problem of everybody sees that we have a problem with the reputation and some embarrassment and so on, and we have to find a solution, common solution, what we can do better in the future.
Yes, I do agree. I mean, I think we are at the end of the day very much aligned on the values, or I would not expect a conflict over there. The only question that will arise is who is actually responsible for deciding based on that respective values, respectively rules, and when it comes to the point, if you understand me. That's something that should be clear between the PPEU and PPI, so that we have this. Thing. Besides of that, I believe we should kind of like start a process of formal application of PPEU for the membership within the PPI, because otherwise it works. However, in this direction, we have not this. Not this thing done. So I don't know. Is there any or other board members of other opinion that we should not join PPI in future?
Well, may I?
Yep.
The whole discussion reached me now a little bit by surprise, I think, but I would defend to let the decision whom member European pirates are to the council, or at least I would try to reassure myself if you're going into some kind of membership in another organization which is not political, as PP International, or not with political aims like that, then we should reassure this decision, I think.
Yep. I mean, like when there will be an agreement on who is actually responsible on deciding of the conflicts, then very much the question of whether we are members of them or won't be members and so on arises. So the question is whether we should not like have a, let's say, formal agreement between both of the organizations that actually resolve the issue, and then of course such an agreement should go to the council. That's for sure. Yeah, I see in the chat that Mia is showing some criticism about the recent activities of Court of Arbitration, PPI, and would support the idea of the membership. Yep.
Excuse me, could I?
Misinterpreted too. Yep.
Yeah, I was not criticizing anything. I was just saying what court of arbitrations generally do. Yeah, they act when a child has fallen into the well. And sometimes maybe we could have some action before that happens. So that might be better, in my opinion. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Then sorry for misinterpreting you. It was not the intention. I mean, it sounded a little bit like you expect more activity from them, which I'm far from judging. I have no experience with them.
Not at all. Yeah, no.
Good. Anything more we should raise on that meeting? Okay, seems not to be that case. So I would consider our preparation for the PPI meeting to be done, and then I would go to the working groups issues. So no one is objecting that. So let's go to the question of media team. So yeah, most of that was, or something was reported, but maybe Lukáš, it's your turn.
Yeah, I think I already said everything.
Okay, and are there actually any kind of like demands the working group media would have from the board?
Maybe regarding the Nobel Peace Prize, because Carlito wrote me an email and asked again about this issue, because we talked about it last time, but I think we haven't decided what's our position.
Hello, Katla. Good evening. Thanks to have great to have you here. Actually,
Hi.
yeah.
So I replied him that it's not working group media decisions. It's a decision of the board, of course.
And could you kind of like rephrase the question for the board so that the other members know what's going on here?
Yeah, okay. If, like, do we support? I actually, I think it needs because I don't know if Carlito is not here, right? So
No.
So like if board supports Banks's nomination, I think it's maybe it's simple like that. But we last time I think we didn't make we didn't agree on this. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, we have discussed that we should first have sort of like analysis of the whole case.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
it's not about to decide like not now, or we can wait. I don't know when's I should check the deadline and then communicate with Carlito.
I see. But we are kind of like missing this analysis that would
Yes.
answer the questions like who is responsible for the licenses to the pictures and stuff like that. We have discussed over there, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, so I'm gonna write an analysis regarding this till the next board meeting.
That would be actually great because we should base our decision making on,
Yes.
let's say, data.
Okay.
Good. Yep. Anything more from the media team?
I think no, not.
Yeah. Okay, then we come probably to the tech group, whether there are any requests from the tech group or anything to.
not a request, but a short report. The first meeting was on 3rd of March. So at first we try to get an inventory what we have, who is responsible for what. It's quite hard to feed the squirrels. I write down, but I'm optimistic that we get more information. And unfortunately, we had been only 3 or 4, and that should be better in the future. I'm making a new invitation, I think, for in the middle of April. That's it for me.
Yes. I mean, like, we touched the issue of the web page, but that's probably something, we have added that as another point. So maybe let's go there.
Yeah, it's another point. It's quite. I think between the media group and the tech group, the tech group is a supporter. We can provide some themes or whatever, and the designers have to have a look on. It's a good idea. We changed a little bit on the website, so it's more clear, and you can see what happened in the past. So, but only little steps. But I agree, we need a better presentation.
I mean, yes. So I would maybe officially go to the point 4, which is the web page. Yeah, Katla, sorry, you raised the hand.
Yeah, hi, sorry. I thought the next point was number 4, any other business.
No, we actually added 2 points on the agenda at the beginning.
Okay, just let me know when I can do my report then.
That point was actually that point actually passed. However, I believe we can go. We can come back to your point and actually make some sense probably to do it. I don't know. Maybe after the web page, if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Just in any other business. It's very short. Just a brief update.
Okay, good. Yes. So let's go to the web page. I believe we should be clear on the process because there needs to be some things, or at least like the people from the file sharing initiatives, they are asking us to put some banners over there and stuff like that. We should probably improve the way how the board presentation looks, how the council presentation looks, the referrals to the respective council members and so on. So maybe the idea would be to have, first of all, sort of like strategical document where there would be summarized demands or requests from, let's say, various teams or various people who are stakeholders, maybe the media team, but probably the European Parliament team and so on. I don't know. Like, we have discussed that personally with Bastian, but I'm not sure what is what should be the outcome. Bastian, could you add on that?
Yeah, I'm not a friend of a static web page, you know about it, but I won't discuss it too technically today. The WordPress it's an editor system, and it's fine for board members, medium guys, whatever. If they want to file a post or file a page, it's easy going. They shouldn't know anything of the technical things behind that. They can provide the text, put it in, and that's it. Maybe somebody can file it a bit better with the format, but therefore I prefer WordPress because it's built for that need. And if you have a static web page, it's more complicated. You need a real team who are responsible for that and who want to support the whole thing. That's and I got a page of requests, and we can fulfill all the requests with WordPress also. So it's just to find out what's needed and what the technique is, which we have to install in the WordPress. But the main thing is that we have a editor system. If we won't have an editor system in the future, it's complicated. It costs money, a lot of money. If you have a professional team who's caring for that, I don't think that we have that money. So you keep it simple, and WordPress is from the user side, from the editor as a user. It's a simple system you can expect, and it's functioning many millions. With many millions issues or things in the world. So that's my point of view. But first we have to collect all the needs and what we have to do, and I think we can do it. But nevertheless, I want to remind you that Cutler is in point 2.1 in the agenda with the moderation of MetaMask report. It's just a question that there is something or nothing.
Yep. Maybe let's finish the web issue and go further. Alessandro is raising the hand.
Yes, Miklos, I think that yes, of course, instruments tooling are important. Like you see, I'm not very tooling oriented. For me, WordPress or a static web page is pretty irrelevant. It depends on many other things, like for instance, how many hits we have, if we have to, how many bandwidth we have to do to. So we can also took in place some WordPress plugin that create a static website. The tool is important, of course, because it makes everything. It just goes with the magic and make things happen. But it's the last thing we have to think, in my opinion. Right now, if I correctly understood the needs, that comes also from guys from ECI, but also from our MEPs or even our council members, because we are actually representing the European pirates, right? And you can believe it or not, but the website is, let's say, our home. We have a lot of tools, but our home we have tooling for media channels like a Twitter account, Facebook page, whatsoever. If I correctly understand the needs, we need just the process to take in place all our stakeholders' needs. Because, for instance, ECI guys, I'm one of them. Maybe we would like to have the widget in the homepage of the European Pirates website. Maybe some I don't know. Patrick wants to put something there because he's pushing for something, and you maybe also the same. So we have to actually took in place. For me, it's very related to the media working group, but it's a strategic group. So we have to just put in place the process. The process is more over important than tooling. Then, of course, we can just when we have the process, we have people working on the process. We can choose the tool. It's fine for me 100% to use WordPress for them but it could be another thing. It's the problem is that we need somehow to formalize the process and to make it very, very easy to happen. Because right now, I don't know. I have access to the WordPress website, and I probably posted my photo, or even less. I don't know. Thank you.
Yeah, Bastian raised hand.
Yes, I agree with Alessandro. If we want to support some groups, individuals or campaigning groups, whatever, we can provide a widget for that and put it on the web page, which is not dominating it. It's our home. Alessandro is correct, and but we can support the activities from other people who will help us, and then it's a win-win situation. And even we can make special pages for them. But in the main page, or the landing page is a landing page, and the landing page is a PPU landing page. That's our work, and so we have to find out what's the best way. How many percent is PPU and how many percent is campaigning, whatever. But it's a step we have to do, and I think we can do that. We have a working group for that, and we can combine everything. It shouldn't be in a board meeting. In board meeting, we should discuss results. Thank you.
I absolutely do agree. So I would, as a follow-up steps, do first of all, let's send out sort of like a consultation pad or something like that, where the people will actually be allowed to provide their, let's say, requirements, or I would call it maybe a wish list, if you don't mind. And that's the first point. And the question is, who shall actually contribute to that wish list? Because I'm pretty sure the media people will have some contribution over there. The ECI people will have some contribution over there. Most likely, the treasurer wants to say something about crowdfunding over there. Maybe I'm mistaken. And or the financial team, and maybe someone who is trying to deal with HR issues like contacting the parties or navigating the volunteers shall be there as well, if I'm not mistaken. So that these are at least like 4 working groups which should technically discuss about this document, what they want to have there.
Yeah, but Miklos, that we want to have crowdfunding, whatever. Then it's just a button on the page. The process is that the financial team has to discuss it and the board has to decide it. And then the technique guys will prepare it. That's easy. The other thing, Alessandro's needs, what is this webpage presenting? Is it the PPU, the big family, or is it only the members of the parliament? Whatever, we have to discuss it in Main, and then we have some results, I think, and then can we vote about that.
For sure. I don't know. Would you be willing to kind of like create a base for the shared document, or like shall I do that?
We can do that together, I think. It's collaborative working.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, for sure, but there should be someone who is kind of like urging the people to provide the feedback.
Yeah. But I just another thought. If you want to prepare some crowdfunding like this, we have a problem to solve the question, or to answer the question first. It's not very transparent. We insist on transparent finances with FIO Bank. You know the whole process. And if we have, let's say, PayPal or something like that, and that's not very transparent. We can put the transactions in the wiki, no doubt about that. But we have to just discuss that first. Otherwise, we have a long discussion in the board meeting.
I mean, there was an idea to set up a financial team, and people should prepare rules for that. Is it that somehow we haven't talked about that during the reports? So
no, we can, and I think the financial group is represented by Alessandro, right?
Yes.
Right, but the thing, in my opinion, the thing now is, in my opinion, is not related to finance. If I correctly understood, the problem here is we have this, let's say, web page and a website that have multiple stakeholders, and the process, as Bastian said, has to be transparent, and stakeholders are multiple because we are just actually representing a lot of them, because we are a lot of countries always joined into let's say, a common house. That is the European Party. The European, in my opinion, the board has as an executive, let's say, organ, as, let's say, not the right, but at least the, even not the obligation, let's say, should try to address things. So website is one of them. It should be the representation of everything we would like to do as a political party, as a European political party. So of course, being a European political party means to have to make choices. So we should have a strategic group focusing on what has to be published there, and in from whom, and in with what kind of of and how. We have MEPs, we have a lot of political parties in all our countries. We have organization, collateral organization, common citizen initiative, other non-profit organization, and a lot of stuff to do. In my opinion, I don't have a clear path on this. So it's totally fine if the let's say media group is responsible for it. Then how to make it happen, it's not clear for me. But it's not relating to finance group, in my opinion.
For sure not. I mean, like, would you agree on the process that I will send out sort of like a pad where there will be kind of like very first initial thing, and I will send it to the media group, to the financial group, to the ECIs, and whom else? European Parliament, most probably. Is there anyone more I should ask for the opinion? Okay, no one is providing any other feedback, so I would probably consider that to be
Enough.
Enough, and I will do it till next time and see what comes out as a feedback. And I would ask all the respective leaders of the groups to ensure that it will be discussed in their meetings. Yeah, I think the talk about the web is somehow sufficient. I hope so. So maybe we can go to the Cutlass point.
Yeah, sure. Hi, everybody. I'm very sorry for being so late. This so happens to be a very big national holiday here in Ireland. And we decided to go for a walk, and we just got held up meeting friends and stuff that we haven't seen for months, you know. So it was really nice, and I'm sorry for being late. But I want to give an update both on the working group for the work frame of the grassroots fund that was approved on the last council meeting. So I've just put the feelers out there, and I aim to have a first meeting of that working group next week. I'll put the doodle for I'll put that in the chat. So if anyone here wants to participate in forming the kind of work frame, like the ground rules around this fund, please be welcome. So hopefully, yes, next board meeting we'll have updates on that. Regarding the updates about the social media or like the communications online. So for the past, this Saturday, the results of the preliminaries for the Icelandic Pirates were made clear. They've been dealing with the preliminaries for the past 2 months. They've been very busy with that, having to do a lot of tech support and a lot of outreach and a lot of just work around that. So they have not been able to give me the time of day or to discuss these matters, which I find understandable because the preliminaries are a huge thing for the Icelandic pirates. So I'm very sorry I don't have any updates on moderation of Mattermost. I didn't catch if Bastian had a question for me before. Did you have a question for me? Or
No, it was just to remind that this is
yeah,
an open item.
right. Well, I'm very passionate about, you know, this sort of stuff. So please believe me, I'm very frustrated that I don't have any updates on that as it is. But, you know, with the election happening this year, they're doing the preliminaries now, and that just takes all the energy from the people over there. I want to ask, have there been any more incidents in the past 3 weeks that we should be aware of? Or is the Code of Conduct Council aware of? No? Okay, fair enough. That's great, actually. So yeah, sticking to the original plan, I will give you updates on Mattermost as soon as I hear from them about what we can, like the steps to take. With the preliminaries completely done this weekend, they should have some brain power to think about this and not the preliminaries. So I hope this answers some of your questions. I'm sorry I don't have any more info at this moment.
Well, I think we all understand it. I mean, like, we are all volunteers at the end of the day, and that results into the fact that sometimes the things get delayed. So no big deal, I would say. I just need to initiate the demand from Dutch pirates to provide them some sort of access within the Mattermost, so they can easily handle issues ongoing in their own team. But that's the only thing. Yeah, and thanks for organizing the meeting of the group for the next week. Thank you. I don't know. I mean, like, we have more or less finished the issues regarding the reports and working groups. So I would probably proceed to the further point, which is the negotiations between Greens IFA and European Pirate Party. Just to inform you, when it comes to the working within the European Parliament, the pirates are working within the group as individual MEPs. I mean, like, at the beginning of the election term, we have joined the group, but we did it as natural persons, like 4 of us: Mikuláš, Marcel, Markéta, and Patrick. That works, and very much like I think we have quite like good results. Still, there are some issues when we sort of like diverge. I mean, like, it's not a big problem, but still there are some ideological differences between pirates and Greens, and we tend to manage them. One of the ideas we had in our minds that would actually help to simplify or help to improve the collaboration would be to have some sort of like a formal agreement between European Pirate Party and the Greens IFA. As you see in the name, actually European Free Alliance, the EFA, they have sort of like formal agreement. In practice, it works that way that the group is actually obliged to provide them some administrative support. They have like a secretary, they have some media, some small media team, and stuff like that. It is formalized, and of course, like this is sort of like future or for future. It is sort of like agreement that the future members of the parliament that are elected for IFA can also enter the Greens IFA group. That's the advantage for them. I mean, like when it comes to the next election term, of course, there will be some pirates most likely elected to the European Parliament. However, there is no like a rule or right for them to join the group. I mean, at the beginning of the election term, there is really a vote, and you can be refused to join the group. So the idea was to really like solidify this relation in the way that we are cooperating together, and that means that we have this right and also some it's a sort of like agreement or would be sort of like agreement between the two parties. But as at the beginning, the physical or natural persons, Mikuláš, Markéta, Marcel, Patrick, cannot sign such an agreement because we are MEPs for this election term, but for sure we will not be MEP, or we have not that granted forever. So the only entity which is probably allowed to make such an agreement for future would be the European Pirate Party. And now the question is whether we should proceed, or how should we proceed in negotiating of that respective agreement. And yeah, just to be clear on that, I do not expect you to really like state a final decision here and now. I was just like willing to know what are your opinions as board members, so that I know the general mood within the organization and can also kind of like give the impression to our green partners, basically. Okay, finished with my initial talk and opening the discussion. Bastian?
Yes. I think the problem is that you need support from the PPU as an organization. I'm not very sure whether we can manage it now. I think we should do our other project first to be acknowledged by the European Parliament as a European party. I think it's difficult if we do the second step before the first step. But maybe it helps you that you get more support, that you're not individual MEPs who are in the IFA group, that you get support from our motions and decisions, so that we can file decisions here, or we can file motions. We should decide in the board. And with these decisions, you can you have a stronger back that fights you maybe and better in the IFA group.
That would maybe help for sure. Just to be clear, I think should we have such negotiation, the baseline would be that we need to be recognized as a partner for Greens IFA group, despite the fact that we have not the official formal status of a European political party. I mean, like, we are a legal entity, we are registered in Luxembourg, and should there be a will to sign an agreement, then I expect that the partner has to accept our legal status.
Yeah, if you sorry, but we can sign any agreement. That's not a problem. If it makes you stronger in the negotiations with your colleagues in the IFA group fraction. I'm not sure that I will accept that. Maybe it's a try, and then we can sign a contract with the IFA fraction and the PPU. I have no idea whether it works, but we have to find out, I think.
Now we are a bit in the process. Like, I'm asking you as the board, like, what is your opinion? and probably some leaders of the group within the Greens IFA group, which are most of them Greens, they are consulting the stakeholders on their side whether there would be really appetite for such an agreement. Just to explain it, Alessandro.
Yes, actually, I think that is a good occasion, a great occasion. I mean, we are in the process. We already discussed first in our council meeting in May. Do you remember when we invite other political parties just to try to make our movement, our PPU, recognize European political party at the European level. So no matter if we are not, if we are or not, I think that this is absolutely a good way, a political way to show up that we can represent a political institution, pirates from all Europe. So I am totally in favor of such, let's say, agreement, or let's say, to be represented as even not formally, but let's say in such a way, unofficially but officially recognized as an entity who represent a lot of political parties and actually a political movement. So I am totally in favor. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else willing to express the opinion? I think especially the national contexts are sometimes important, because I know that, for example, for the Czech Pirate Party, there was sometimes a bit issue because the Greens are not really perceived well within Czechia. So for us, it was really like tough decision whether we shall go in this direction. So maybe your shared experience would be great. Lukáš was raising the hand.
Okay, thank you. Maybe if you could describe the main discrepancies between pirates and Greens, let's say, and also members from EFA, because there are some these kind of let's say autonomous parties. So if you could describe what are the main discrepancies, yeah. Thank you.
Thanks. I see on the speaking list Hansa, but I will answer the question. Like the main difference, or actually the agreement between IFA and the Greens forming like the IFA, there is a memorandum describing that. The approach in within is basically that it acknowledges that both parties have actually the same or similar values. However, it also acknowledges that both of them are free in the way how they interpret that, which actually provides a lot of space to IFA to vote differently from Greens. And they do it, to be honest, quite often. There are also like internal votes which work that way, that some of the members of the secretariat of the group are elected by only Greens, and some of them are elected only by IFA. So they have kind of like this federated status, and so far it works for pirates that way, that we are being considered as Greens. So we are contributing to the, let's say, electing of Green officials, which somehow is complicated if you have like 60 Greens over there who have some preferred candidate. It's a bit complicated to influence that from the position of 4 pirates. So maybe it would be reasonable to have really like pirate official and do not influence the Green election within the group. when it comes to the ideology, there are clear differences because pirates are in general quite like more liberal than Greens, and that results to, let's say, discrepancies when we discuss things like gender quotas. I mean, like zip candidate list for men and women, or sometimes we have had discrepancies, especially like the Czech pirates and Greens, with the issue of nuclear energy. That was another, let's say, heated topic. What could come to my mind? Well, I think that these are probably the most pronounced, where we really try to resolve the differences, and where we should acknowledge that simply we go in different directions and there is no way how to make it put it together. The next one in the row was Honza, then Exile, Mickey, and Alessandro.
Okay, so this is partially also regarding Green's EFA, but I would also like to bring to your attention the whole problem of policy coordination, because this is tied with the whole relationship with the Greens, because there are some issues where the pirate parties differ between each other on. Some of them are relative, I would say, fundamental issues. Some of them may be minor issues, but the idea why this group was established was established, but there's only one member, is that there should be some kind of a forum where the different parties can talk about these issues and reach some conclusion, or at least agree to disagree. So yeah, I made a pad on the Etherpad. I'm going to link it, where I would ask members of each of the constituent parties of PPEU to fill out what they feel, or where they've already encountered some problems with other parties, or, well, problems isn't the best word, some disagreements or differing views. I know that not all parties are in the board, so I'll see to it. I'll try to find some way to reach the other parties as well. And once we have some issues filled in there, I'm going to put it into a nice, neat Excel pad. And then we're going to try and establish some sort of, I'd say, roundtables, or, well, not roundtables, but roundtable online talks where we square it out and where we reach some conclusions. Because this, I mean, typically one of the areas where there are disagreements is nuclear energy, and this is also coincidentally an area where the Greens have some very strong feels. So it would be good to have some kind of a basic agreement between ourselves before we start presenting some idea of common pirate policies to the Greens EFA.
I have to admit that's actually a very good point, and we should do this internal investigation. I mean, like, if I then can ask you, we need to really go through this internal investigation as fast as possible, because it would be very helpful to have the results for discussion here and now, for some, like, let's say, operative reasons in the parliament. I mean, like, we need to kind of like resolve the divergences in voting, as from time to time we have votings here, and we need to address it. Yeah, sorry. Then the next one in the row was Mickey.
Okay, hello. Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, of course.
Good. Okay. A point I wanted to ask about is the history of the MEPs in the parliament with the Greens. Did they have such agreements, or were they also just single members as you are now? And the other question is, I know that in Germany we have a very, very strong conservative bloc, Green, and they send all the real green people that are around the world from all different parties, this international green that is really activists and more extreme. The Germans send them all to the European Parliament. so, I think the EU, the European Greens, are very sort of more activism and more not so conservative as like the German Greens, because they send really the people who start rebelling and trying to change, make drastic change and shock everyone here in Germany. They all get sent to European Parliament.
I understand your concern. I have to admit that this is a common expectation, but in practice it is more complicated. I mean, if you look in the Greens IFA group from within, you see clearly divergence among actually the German Greens itself. I mean, like there are obviously like subgroups, and I have to admit, by terms of like what does it, what could it mean in a good sense of that word, I see some internal fightings in between them. So you can't consider that to be really like a uniform picture. They really like have disagreements, and they strive against each other, and there is a quite like sophisticated dynamics of like how do German Greens interact with each other, how do they interact with French Greens, what is the opinion on Finnish Greens. This is quite more fragmented picture. So yeah, it's a partner, and it has an internal dynamic. And to your question, previously in the previous election terms, none of the pirates had any formal agreement with the group. I mean, like there were like informal agreements resulting, for example, into the situation that Julia Reda was vice president of the, or one of the members of the group's lead of the bureau. There was such an agreement. However, yeah, so far I know there was never ever a written agreement between Pirates and Greens IFA group. The only written agreement is between Greens and IFA. So as there are only 4 IFA members within the group, I see reasonable when there are 4 IFA members in the group and have a written agreement, and 4 Pirate members and haven't written agreement. So I see reasonable for Pirates to try to reach a written agreement. But that's the way. I mean, like the group itself has a specific dynamics. The issues are being resolved in a different way than for Pirates. Like usually, what you see there is when there is an internal office. Usually, there is only one person running for each of the offices because they reach the agreement in before the actual vote. So the vote itself is usually just a confirmation of the previous agreement. That's the way how it works internally most often. I believe that's no secret. That's simply the way how it works. And of course, like we can work on based on these agreements. However, still it makes some sense, I believe, for Pirates to have the agreements written in a written form, so that we resolve our issues in our ways. I mean, like voting and really like free competition, and let the Greens to do the to use their tools or ways to resolve their issues. I hope that answered your question, and I would give the word to Alessandro and then to Flori.
Yes, thank you, Mikolas. It's very, very interesting. I want just to point out one thing. I'm totally in favor, of course, to internal consultation, and because of this strange idea of being represented as European pirates within the IFA group. Everyone, every single member should say what happens, because of course Greens in Italy are seen in a way, in Czechia in another way, in France in another way. But in my opinion, yes, of course, Greens are important in the IFA group, and we would never join to, let's say, something that is totally different from us. And of course, we are more. We know basically, even with all national differences, we know that we have something in common and something different, and we know basically almost everything. But the most relevant thing, in my opinion, is still the same that I was telling you before. It's in such a way be recognized. We have such an opportunity to be, just not the single. Beside that, I love Mikuláš, Markéta, Patrick, and Marcel, but not only as 4 pirates selected there, but as the whole. We're just in such a way. If we sign somewhere an agreement between others, and we will be there, even if we are not like Greens, an European political party. We will in such a way recognized as a real European political movement, and our non-profit organization. That means every one of us, not only our MEPs, but every one of us, literally, being more represented and more politically represented. So I don't think the differences or processes will be really matter in this way. Of course, yes, it will be matter. It will be a question of political things if we are joining some xenophobe or some, totally a movement completely different from us. But that's not the case, actually. So, in my opinion, the most important thing is another one. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that. Just to be absolutely honest on this place, most probably the second possible candidate for us to join would be the Renew Europe. I mean, they were formerly called Liberals. Nowadays, they call themselves Renew Europe because the group is very much dominated by French En Marche. And yeah, I mean, I guess Flori is willing or very much capable to say something about the story of French Greens and French En Marche. Sorry, I'm not going to introduce more. Please,
Yes.
please, Flori.
Oh, thank you. I'm really, really happy that this question is asked tonight. We are really we are moving away from the Greens in France. Really, we have just refused 2 proposals for alliances for the next elections, consular elections, some elections which will take place really soon in 2 months. And we are about to vote a strategy of autonomy for the next regional elections, which takes place in June. So we have deep disagreements with the Greens in France, really deep, and we can no longer work with them. It's the end of the story for the Greens. But it is the same with En Marche. We really we can't work with En Marche because they are now governing the country, and we can't work with them. It's really difficult to hear that you can go with them in the European Parliament. But I have something else to say. I said to you, we have 2 proposals for the elections, and one of the 2 proposals was in Prague. and we learned that the PPCZ, the PP Czech, I don't remember, was supporting the French candidate. A French candidate, French parrot, but a member of your parrot party in Czechia, and we don't support this candidate because she is on the list with the French Greens, and we learned that you support this candidate. So it is the French election, so I don't know why she have the Czech parrot party support, but I think it will be good if we agreed on our relationships with the Greens in Europe, or at least that we talk about it. That we talk about it in each parrot party in Europe, and that we see where we are. We should also talk about our strategic choices and our mutual interventions in the context of the elections, when we have some elections in our countries, our respective countries. I think we have to agree on the support for each candidate in each countries for each elections when these elections are for another countries that ours. And in this case, in this election, the constitutional elections, it is the French Greens who are leading the list. We don't support the French Greens. We don't support this list. We decide to not support this list, and we see that you support this list. It's okay if you want, but I think we have to talk more and more often. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry. I have to admit I don't know which support of the Czech Parrot Party you are actually referring to, but if there was if there was support expressed to some French politician, I'm not aware of that case, and I'm not happy about that. So please be more specific about that, because I will try to use all my contacts.
Yes.
I believe other Czech members of the board will do so as well, in order to prevent that such situation occurs. Because well, we have no agreement with any other French political party, and I think we don't strive for that. I mean, like, of course, on tactical base, like, we are cooperating with French Greens. That's what's happening, and I'm very much aware of the, let's say, Twitter crossfires between French pirates and my dear colleague in the Green Group, Michel Rivasi. I have seen that, and I know what is the state of play.
Sorry, it is the devil. Michel Rivasi, yes.
Michel Rivasi is my dear colleague within the Budgetary Control Committee, and I'm very sorry about the ongoing crossfires that are happening on Twitter.
I'm sorry for you. I know her. I'm sorry for you. I really know her. I know her personally, and I'm really sorry for you.
I'm very, very sad for the situation that occurred. Still, the state of play is that actually to form a group within the European Parliament, you need 25 members out of 7 countries, which is so far not feasible for pirates, and probably it's not feasible for pirates to find allies in this election term to do something completely like new. So we are still in this, let's say, binary choice between Greens IFA and Renew Europe, whereas like somehow we share some parts of our program with each of them. I mean, like, I think I believe, like, for example, German pirates could find some common ground with German FDP. Maybe I'm wrong. So far we are somewhere in between, and we need some stronger partner at this point. What shall be stressed, and it shall be kind of like pronounced in the future agreements, that it can be terminated for sure. Like if there will be 50 pirates sitting in the European Parliament, then probably it makes more sense to create own group. Yeah, will be probably feasible to manage, or like change the level of cooperation in quite different way. And of course, like if there will be some sort of like ideological drift or something like that, we can renegotiate that. So it should be probably clear, and you should be able to communicate that this is a solution for now, and all the agreements can be renegotiated in future. And you as French pirates are definitely in the position to communicate it in that way. So Flori, please.
Yes, I know some. Are we online? We are on live.
Yeah, we are being streamed.
Yes.
We
Okay.
are being streamed, so you are making media statements.
Okay. So I think we should talk about that. We should talk about that later. I know some people in European Parliament, some MEP, which are not Greens, which are in the En Marche movement, but I have to ask them, and I have to talk with you and with them, and I have to talk about them with you. But I can't talk about them here. I'm sorry. I don't want to give some names now.
That's no problem. I just have to stress one thing. Mr. Macron is good friend of Mr. Babiš. They are quite like cooperating with each other. And when it comes to Mr. Babiš, he called me personally in the media a traitor of my country. And he was quite specific that pirates shall never ever join Renew Europe. So that's a bit complicating the situation.
Yes, but you will not. I think you should not join Renew Europe. You should not even ask yourself to join this group. I think you don't. You can't do that, because it will be difficult for us in France for so just to forget that and to assume that in France we can't. It's not possible for us. You will kill the French Pirate Party if you join Renew Europe. But I know that in this group there are some people who disagree with the president and who are just trying to change things, and who are some people which ones you can work. But we have to talk with them before, and I can't. Again, I can't give the name now. But I think you know, you already know these people.
I would say so, but definitely let's have bilateral discussions about that, because I believe it is always very interesting to discuss the European politics with the respective pirate colleagues from the respective country, because always people are quite like able to provide new inputs. Sorry, Mickey is again raising the hand.
You're muted, Mickey.
Oh, the Flori made the point, who do we walk with when we demonstrate on the streets in our lands? And I know in Germany, loads of pirates walk with Greens all the time for different reasons. If it's for human rights or for climate change and things like that. And it differs in different lands. We should actually, first of all, recognize who do we walk with on the streets and demonstrate with, and that actually makes a big difference in the way you can act in Parliament, because it's the feeling from the base of the party that you have to take with you.
That's very much true. Honzo, as a follow-up, may I ask you when the political coordination working group will kind of like do this initiative, if you could possibly include into your like set of questions, something to ask for the relation with, let's say, local Green Party and local Renew Party. I mean, like, I guess most of the people should be aware whether who is the local Renew Party. If it's FDP in Germany, En Marche in France, in Czechia it's ANO. Yeah, that way. I mean, like, we should have this type of feedback.
Well, basically, the policy coordination group right now is just me. So yeah, but I mean, basically, I've only had some talks with Zuzka, with one of your assistants, who is mostly doing the policy coordination business, I think. And we already had few talks, and basically mostly about how exactly do you go about like policy coordination in nuclear energy, because that's like the I think we came to agreement that that's the biggest issue between German and Czech pirates. So we're trying to figure out like what some kind of a mechanism that I could use, but we also came to the agreement that first we need to know what exactly those issues are between the different parties. So that's the first step, I would say. And policy coordination between pirate parties and non-pirate parties is that's I'd say that's a well, maybe not so distant future, but that comes after we have some honest talks between different pirate parties.
Okay, maybe then would it be possible to organize this meeting so that we first like clarify the set of questions we want to raise, because besides the nuclear energy and the gender quota or the gender quotas actually can be perceived differently, because I know that Luxembourgish pirates have some specific policies regarding having like two co-spoke persons, which I'm not really like expert of like what is the idea of like how do they understand it, but definitely we should know their position, because that could be kind of like different from pirate mainstream, and that's the issue I know about. But we should kind of like sit somewhere collectively and clarify on those issues. Maybe you could call that meeting and we could clarify that there, because I believe like for today we have kind of like resolved all the issues and the time is over, so we could probably end, or we should end, and it was not on the schedule. Okay, I see no hands risen, so I would probably consider this discussion for today ended. I take the follow-up that there is very much like open mind among the board members who are present today to seek for such an agreement. But there were some specific reservations and specific issues, and we need to clarify our position for future. So that's probably the conclusion, I would say. I would probably go for the next point, which is the question of when do we meet. And I know that it was painful for some members, and we need to reconsider this Wednesday evening sessions. I don't know who is willing to raise concerns or like the specific issue or some proposals. I know Flory could possibly be one of the sources, but
Well, may I?
Yep, please.
Regarding this issue, I would simply propose to delay 1 hour instead of starting at 7 while parts of Europe are still in work, starting at 8. It just gives at least a little more time and see how we're going with that.
I love you, Exile. I was saying I would propose delay in 3 hours.
I don't know. I think last time when we had the discussion, there was a hard limit at 8 o'clock for Flory, but I don't know what was actually the outcome of that.
Not tonight. Lucky you are.
Yeah, but in general, when we are talking about the meetings, whether it should be, I don't know, like
On
every 3
Wednesday?
weeks on Wednesday at 8 o'clock, does it make sense for you, or is it absolutely no go?
No. I have some meetings at 8:30 in general on Wednesdays, but I already told it. I'm just available tonight, but not the next week, and not. I don't know even now, but I know that it should not be possible for me. But you can just organize some meetings, and I will try to be there and just listen.
Okay, it's a bit inconvenient. Do we have any other days we could possibly agree, all of us, on them?
You know what, Miklos? May I say a word?
Doodle.
It's a pain. It will always be a pain for somebody. I finished work at, I don't know, today 7 and something, and I just pick up my AirPods, my mobile phone. In the meantime, I was hearing you, preparing the dinner for kids, having dinner with kids, hearing you, speaking with you, and then washing dishes and speaking with you again. And it will be always a pain for somebody. Wednesday at 7, it's a pain for me, but I will take the pain. And when I will be overwhelmed, I just say, okay, today it's enough. I can't. But it will be impossible, in my opinion, to find out, especially these days. These days, there are complicated days. Come on, these are complicated days since 1 year, I guess. So it will always be a pain for somebody. If we are 9, I can take the pain, but if I cannot, then it will be a painful for Lee, or it will be a pain for Onza, or for Katla, or for you. So I don't know, really. I don't know. For me, actually, it will be, let's say, if, for instance, you cannot attend, and it will be always a pain for you, it will be a pain for everybody. If we can find out a day that is not a pain for you every time, it's a good start, and we will somehow adapt. At least I'm speaking for me. I will adapt. I will never say no. This is not working for me. I will try to adapt anyway, anytime. That's it.
That's for sure. But still, I know it is quite like inconvenient, and I would like to provide the best opportunity to participate for all the members of the board. So what about this, Mia? Sorry.
Just like a timid question. What would it be about 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock? How would that sound? Maybe for Alessandro, he's not even back from work, so we couldn't do that. But the later, the worse for me, really, because I get up really early at 4:30 or something in the mornings. And of course, I can sleep before I start. I always do. That's okay. But, well, yeah. Flory also asks sometimes for earlier sessions, but I don't know you others. It depends on you. I mean, I'll do anything also, whatever you say.
Exile.
Yes. As Alessandro well stated, it's a pain for somebody, always it will be. So, with this having in head and always speaking of asynchronous ways to work, I think we should focus on what we're doing as the groups are running well and starting to settle up, and not heading too much in this question now. It is like it is. We had this doodle once made, so if we don't find a consensus, we going on with that. That's fine. And the parts of the board which are struggling managing them, um, they will find the way to adapt somehow. Um, what perhaps is a little bit of issue in there then is having this early starting and trying at the same time be in the 19 minutes we gave ourselves this aim. Perhaps therefore we should, well, have at least understand full moderation like you do. Thank you.
Okay, I can definitely be more aggressive in the moderation. I just dislike being aggressive in or not. Let's not say aggressive, but more strict about like keeping the time.
Mhm.
Okay, I don't know, Mickey, whether you want to say something on that, on the top of that. I mean, like, we should be faster because it's really like, again,
Yes.
we are 2 hours speaking here.
Yeah. Just a small comment. We could actually have a shorter meeting and keep a working pad open and close this pad every start of a new meeting and open a fresh one. So we can actually work in this pad all the time and constantly and post it somewhere in a channel on the Mattermost where if you think about something or you have an idea or you think you like the green, the Flory would maybe write something down about the complications with the Greens in France and what she thinks about things, and I could write things about the German virus, what I think, and you could actually write this in the pad, and it's already there, the information for people to pick up and read about, and that could be a way we could work.
Yeah, there is a proposal from. Yeah, just to reflect on that, I think that we should have a single path which works really like a record for the formal decision being taken by the board, and that should not be changed without being really like adapted. We could have, of course, like paths to work in between the board meetings, and that's very much reasonable for the working groups to work. So there is a comment from Olivia, which is very good, about like a Mattermost section that would be dedicated for board meeting agendas and ideas mentioned beforehand, which is, I think, very good, and we should think about it. And should probably be public so that people are aware of what actually or how to provide their inputs. Okay, then I think there is no clear conclusion about like we should have take some action regarding the board meetings. So isn't there one? Because if there is no conclusion how to reschedule the meetings, I think this yeah, Katla, please.
I think it would be a good idea to do another doodle now with a few months behind us, with some experience of this meeting time. We could do another doodle and just see where we're at this moment of time.
I think that's definitely worth of try. So if you don't mind, I will send out a doodle, and preliminary we are agreed on the Wednesday in 3 weeks at 7 o'clock. if there is no objection. And provided we receive in the doodle some miraculous date that would fit better, I would adapt that and inform you via board Mattermost and the other channels we use for announcing the board meetings that we have changed the time of board meeting. Seems there are no objections to that procedure. So I would do it in this way. And as we have finished the last point, I would close the meeting and say it was great to work with you, and I'm very, very grateful for having this discussion today with you today evening.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for streaming.
Have a great evening, everybody. And you know
Yes.
what? And you know what? It's very strange because French language is sexy. I was thinking this before.
Mais pourquoi tu dis ça?